Hello everyone. Today we are going to see Auth0 Identity Infrastructure as Code. I'm Shiva, Sivamuthu Kumar, working as architect. I'm one of the Auth0 Ambassador and speaker. I usually speak in cloud security and mobile solutions. I'm from Orlando, Florida. You can follow me at my Twitter handle at ksivamuthu. Today's agenda of the session is we are going to see what is infrastructure as code, what are the benefits of using it, how we can set up Auth0 identity with infrastructure as code, what are the different options, followed by a short demo and discussing next steps. Let's see what is infrastructure as code. The definition goes like this. Infrastructure as code is the management of the infrastructure in a descriptive model using the same versioning as DevOps team uses for source code. What does that mean? We can write the entire infrastructure specification in the descriptive code, including what are the VM, what is the VM instance size, what is the network behind it, what is the load balancer looks like. So if you want to build in any web application or like any other application, all the infrastructure need for your application, you can write everything in the descriptive code. Since it's written in the code, you can integrate that into the source control and the security audit, the pull request review, all the DevOps practices. You can share across and also deploy in different environments. You can deploy the dev environment with the same infrastructure specification. You can deploy the staging or QA environment. You can spin like new environments with the same code. Finally, it's managing and provisioning infrastructure in cloud and on-premise. Okay, how infrastructure as code works? What is the process? So the developer writes the code and the code is stored in version control, and you can do the testing and audit in like a static testing and the security audit of your infrastructure. And whenever the changes are pushed, the automation or the API, it deploys and manages in cloud and on-premise. So this is how the overall workflow goes, and this is how the infrastructure as code works. So what are the benefits of using it? Faster time to production and market, improved consistency, less configuration drift. Whenever you are promoting to like higher environments, you know what you are exactly changing. Faster and more efficient development, lower cost and most time on developing the innovations. Let's see like how we can implement this infrastructure as code to build the Auth0 identities. To set up the Auth0 application or API as a code. So when it comes to the Auth0 is a one-stop solution for your all authentication needs, including identity, authentication, authorization, and extensibility of your identity. So the Auth0 dashboard looks like this. You can see they have updated the new dashboard as well. This is the previous screenshot. So this dashboard contains applications, API, SSO integration, whatever your application needs for it, like authentication needs. So all those entities are available here. When we usually create an application, we'll go to dashboard and create an application and APIs and the necessary connections needed for our application. So let's build this demo, a simple a SPA plus API scenario, single page application plus API scenario. So to build this demo, we need an app client from Auth0 and we need a resource server for our API. So the client initiates the login, it redirects to Auth0 server and return back the token once user authenticated. And the token is sent to the API server. API is validating the token and send the data back. So this is how demo looks like, right? And I will show you how it looks like after building this. So this is the demo I have put in Azure, and also we have set up the necessary Auth0 entities. So you can see this is the React.js sample application, and we have logged in here. And whenever like a ping API, it's calling the external API, the token is passed and it's validating the token. So this is a sample demo provided by Auth0 here. Now we are going to see how we can build these Auth0 entities like a client application, the resource server, and the other infrastructure includes hosting this in Azure websites, um, and like the other details. So we are going to build everything using infrastructure as code. Let's see how it goes. So before looking into that, you will see that one important foundation for this infrastructure as code when it comes to the Auth0. So Auth0 has management API. Management API is kind of admin API where it manages the tenant, application, APIs, extensions, and more. So whatever you can do in Auth0 dashboard, you can do the same thing using the management API. So here, this is the API reference. So you can see you have like different resources like clients, resource servers, and other Auth0 entities. So they have this REST client like get, create, and all these CRUD operations. So you can call this API using your API token, and this would create the client or create the resource server on behalf of you. So after you created, if you go to the dashboard and see the client and um, the entity, whatever the entity that would be created in the dashboard. Any of the infrastructure as code tool that's deploying the Auth0 entity that's internally calling this management API so that it can manage your Auth0 configuration there. Now, let's see that the first class support of Auth0 deploy CLI. Auth0 deploy CLI is an extension provided by Auth0. You need to install this, and also they are providing the Node.js tool, npm install tool. So using this extension installed and also like the Node.js tool, you can export and import the Auth0 configuration in YAML or JSON. Since it's in YAML or JSON, still it's considered as a infrastructure as code, where you can modify your configuration and import back that would change like the configuration in the dashboard. So now let's see how it looks like. In the Auth0 dashboard, you need to install Auth0 deploy CLI extension, and I have installed Auth0 deploy CLI here. You can directly call the CLI, or if you want to call that programmatically, you can add that in a dependency here. So what I did is I constructed the config, like where is my domain coming from, what is the client secret, what is the client ID, and the other configuration. And I'm calling the dump method. So it's just using the configuration. It get all the Auth0 configuration and put it in this folder. So you can see the folder contains action, clients, resource servers, and other Auth0 entities, and it just put everything in like a JSON format. Now, if I need to update back or update the configuration in the code, you can say here like for example, let's change this SSO true to SSO false, right? So you can change the configuration here and call this deploy method. So this would import that configuration back to the Auth0 dashboard. So you can configure all your parameters and the configuration, everything from like this JSON file itself. Now, if you need to do like automated deployments, whenever your source code is pushed into the repo, you are expecting it to be automatically deploying into the Auth0. Then there is another extension that's called GitHub Deployments. Install that, and you need to configure this extension using like what is the repo, what is the branch, and what directory your configuration files are located at. If you configure that one, then whenever the code is pushed, you can see this deployment logs here that's showing what are the things it got changed or what are the things got like created or deleted. So you will get this as deployment log, like how much configuration on resource server got like updated or how many clients got like created, those kind of logs summary you will be getting. So that's the overall thing about like Auth0 deploy CLI and the GitHub deployment extension for like automated deployment of your configuration changes as a code. Now, there is a second approach also, like Auth0 Terraform. You may already know like Terraform. Terraform is provided by HashiCorp, which is a tool for building infrastructure as code, where you can build like Azure or AWS, GCP, Kubernetes, or any other resources. One of our community member, Alex, created this Terraform provider for Auth0. So you can use Auth0 Terraform provider to build like Auth0 entities using infrastructure as code of like the Terraform blocks. Now let's see how this look like. So I have this Terraform folder here under the infrastructure. So if you remember the demo I have shown, the React application and the backend server. So what I did here is I have this resource Azure app service. So I have created the app service for application, app service for API, and I'm creating like Auth0 client, Auth0 resource server for that application and API. So you can see like I have configured like what is the name of the Auth0 client and the other parameters I need, and even like the load origins, web origins, I'm directly deriving it from Azure App Service here. And Auth0 resource server, I'm having the same thing. The identifier is like the API Azure App Service hostname and the other parameters we need. Right? So now you can see like I have built my entire infrastructure using the Terraform. I have set up this Azure Active Directory stuff, and I have set up like a Azure App Service application and API and Auth0 client and Auth0 resource server. So these are like the Terraform code. So to deploy this, you need to do like Terraform plan and Terraform apply. Right? Terraform plan is just looking like what is the state of your application and reporting like, okay, this many changes we are going to do, and there are like two additions, three modification, and one deletion. So it's giving like a complete plan, like okay, these are the changes we are going to do in your infrastructure. And when you do the Terraform apply, then it's going to apply the changes using the plan you have created before. So for this one, I have created the GitHub workflow as well. So you can see I am initializing the Terraform. I'm using the Terraform cloud for the execution, and I'm planning the Terraform. And whenever the push to the main happen, then I'm applying the Terraform apply auto approve for like the CA purpose. So when you do that, this would be taking care of like creating your infrastructure using the GitHub action. Now let's see the demo quickly. So here we have this GitHub Actions workflow. So the Terraform lint happened, the Terraform apply, the development environment had happened. So if you go to this Auth0 dashboard here, go to the applications, you can see Auth0 app demo dev app was created. Now I need to create the staging application, right? So for that, let's go here, review the deployment. We are going to create the infrastructure for like the staging environment. So you can see the log when it's applying. Now you can see we promote this to the staging environment. It goes through the series of steps where it's initialize the Terraform, planning the Terraform, and applying the Terraform. And if you go to the Terraform apply, it gives a full plan like what are the things it's going to change, and finally it's creating those resources. So you can see like the Auth0 resource server app backend got created, and Auth0 client app frontend also getting created. So now if you go to the Auth0 dashboard, and if you see, you can see the Auth0 app demo uh, staging application as well. So what we did here is like we have take the code to create the dev environment. We just promote it to the staging, and the staging environment is up and ready. So this how like you can use the infrastructure as code to deploy multiple environments, and also you can reuse some of the code as well. Now the Terraform is in HCL format, right? But if you want to build infrastructure as code in any language like JavaScript, TypeScript, C#, Go, Python, so and more, right? So if you want to build your infrastructure in like any language, there is another provider that's called Pulumi. So Pulumi is similar to the Terraform, but it's supporting like many languages. So you can write all your code in like a JavaScript or like C#, right? So in Pulumi also, there is a Auth0 provider. This is basically wrapper to the Auth0 Terraform provider, right? So if you want to create a user here, you can do like, okay, auth0.user after importing this Pulumi Auth0 module. A similar thing for like Python and Go language and C#. So you can do this in like any language based on your and the team choice. Right? So we see the demo. The next steps here, I have provided this the entire demo. So I have shown the three different infrastructure as code option for Auth0, right? One is Auth0 deploy CLI, and you can use Auth0 Terraform provider if you are having Terraform as your option to build the infrastructure. And if you want to try the different languages, you can try Auth0 Pulumi as well. So I have provided the reference, all this code and the demo. It's in this link, Sivamuthu/Auth0 Identity Infrastructure as code. And Auth0 docs are here, Auth0 Terraform provider links are here, and Auth0 Pulumi provider links are here. So the next steps would be like you can go and try the different infrastructure as code option and understand how it works, and how it creates Auth0 entities using the management API. And finally, thank you. Thanks everyone. If you have any questions, please ask me and DM me at my Twitter handle at ksivamuthu. And please like this video and share. Thank you.